So let's all pray to Swami to be with us in the Satsangh, and we'll start with opening prayers. Oh, 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 Saishwaraya Vidmahe Sathya Devaya Dhimahi Tanna Sarva Prachodayate. Om Saishwaraya Vidmahe Satya Devaya Dhimahi Tanna Sarva Prachodayate. Om Saishwaraya Vidmahe Satya Devaya Dhimahi Tanna Sarva Prachodayate. Offering my humble pranams at Bhagawan's lotus feet, who is all merciful, giving us the ambrosia week after week, bringing in his gems. Students of the Sathya Institute of Higher Learning, who are blessed to be part of his institution, who are blessed to go through experiences that groom them not only as a student, but also gives them the path of how to move forward in life. And we have been blessed. This is probably the 75th satsang that's happening without a break, thanks to his divine will. And it can't happen without the support and love of all the alumni who go all the way out to bring us week after week, as I said, his gems. And today we have someone who I will always remember with the Nike saying called "Just Do It." That's how I will remember him, for dropping everything that he did to come back and start service work back in Prashanthi Nilayam, Brother Rakesh Menon, who has been part of our satsang. And he, in turn, has brought another gem, probably among the younger batches. I can't call him the youngest because we have actually got a student of the school who spoke in a satsang. So he's not the youngest, but from a college perspective, he's definitely the youngest speaker in our Sai Govind satsang series. And I'm going to leave Brother Rakesh to do the honors of introducing our speaker for today. Over to you, brother. Brother Rakesh, you have to unmute yourself, please.
Sorry. Sai Ram and humble salutations at Bhagwan's lotus feet. Thank you, Brother Venkat, for your kind words. Coming back to Singapore is always high energy. Now we are all on the Zoom side, but it just feels like a family to say, So you will find a dose of mischievousness and happiness when we are all interacting here. And not to waste time, I would like to just introduce Vishal to you. So Vishal, if you have seen the photo of young Vishal with Swami, I think a picture is worth 1,000 words. So I think I would let Vishal actually explain. As with in other alumni, he has completed 7 years in Swami's Institute, right from the higher secondary school. He did his BCom honors from Brindavan Campus and went on to do his MBA from Prashanthi Nilayam. Currently, Vishal is in the field of corporate finance with a firm called Straive in Chennai. Vishal also is a beautiful singer, and he's part of the Prashanti Mandir Bhajan group. He has been part of the convocation drama, speeches, musical programs in Swami's divine presence. Personally, I know Vishal since a couple of years now, and he, amongst a few, I always see him as a blessed child of Swami with a lot of divine hand in whatever he does, and he as well, as part of the Grama Seva, is an active member contributing on the ground on a daily basis, along with the rest of the core team. We have, I'm sure a few of us should be here, Ashwin should be here, and some of the Grama Seva group is So, Vishal, this is over to you. And just to understand, Brother Venkat, we have a small two-slider on the Grama Seva. So, do you want us to do that after the talk, or however it is?
Let him finish the talk so that in
Yeah.
case if he's time bound, he can leave. We can continue with that. So let's give him that starter to go with. Yeah, we'll all come back. We'll all come back at the end. Last time, Brother Rakesh left off, like, you give a teaser. We are doing this, we are doing that, and this happened and that happened, and that's converted into a lovely 5-slide presentation, which just tells you that when there is the mind with the intent, he shows the way. And it is him who gives you the intent. It is also him who does everything. So that is going to be the crux of what Brother Rakesh is going to talk at the end. And I am as excited as you are to hear him towards the end, because there's nothing like Manava Seva is indeed, as Swami says, Madhava Seva. So looking forward to that at the end. But for now, over to you, Brother Vishal. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, Brother Sai Ram. हर पल हर क्षण भूल करे हम, हर पल हर क्षण भूल करे हम, पग पग ठोकर खाए, एक पग आगे दो पग पीछे साई, तुम तक कैसे आओ, करुणा सागर परम दयालु साई, करुणा सागर परम कृपालु साई. Offering my most humble pranams at the lotus feet of my dear Mother Sai, respected elders, sisters and brothers, a loving Sai Ram to one and all present here. I feel extremely privileged, blessed and grateful to have got this opportunity to interact with each and every one of you here. Sincere gratitude to Swami, Venkat brother, Vivek brother, Rakesh brother, all of you to have given me this wonderful chance to share a few of my experiences and the experiences that have molded me into what I am today. And just to tell that, yesterday when I came to know that, this Govind series is to be put up in YouTube. So I just went into YouTube and just checked the speakers who have already spoken in the series. I came to know it's the 75th session. And I was just shocked to see in the list all my teachers, my very, very senior brothers, the mentors I have. And I was just speechless to just, digest the fact that I, being a tiny tot among all of them, to have got this opportunity to share whatever I have learned at Swami's lotus feet, and to just share few experiences. So I feel very overwhelmed, but at the same time, it's just that, Swami, I pray to you because you are the speaker and you should speak through me, because I'm just an audio box amplifying your words, Swami. Please pray that, I pray that you speak through me, Swami. So to begin the session, a very small intro about how, myself and my family came to Swami. So actually, I was blessed to be in Swami's fold right from my childhood days. My mother, so she was the first one in her family to get introduced to Swami. And after her marriage, she settled in Kerala, the southern part of India. And then slowly, it was one of her friend who introduced her to Swami. And slowly, she started going to the Samati Bhajans that was conducted. So the Samati was a little closer to our home in Thrissur in Kerala. And she used to go and visit the Samati, attend the bhajan sessions over there. And she used, I was a very small kid at that time. So my mother used to carry me along with her to go and attend these sessions. So my memories of the initial Samati days, and now it has been reconstructed. So that time it was a different setup. So my fond memories of that old Samati was, this was about a huge hall where, Swami's photo used to be there right at the center, and two small doors at the side, and one huge bell where they ring it for Aarti. So this is just the picture that's there in my mind about our old Samati. And the one big thing that I clearly remember is the prasadam that they give at the end of the sessions, right? As a kid, my focal point or my interest was to just see what is the prasadam on that day, whether it is laddu, whether it is chocolate and things like that. And that used to be my thought whenever my mom takes me for bhajans. So like that, we started attending these sessions. My mother was involved in Swami's activities, and I was enrolled into balavikas right at my younger days. And the funny thing here is that even for going to balavikas, my interest was never attending balavikas, but what is the prasadam that I'll receive at the end of that session, whether it is chocolate or whether it is sweet or raisins and things like that. So that used to be my end goal at that point of time. But slowly, the Swami uses these small cards to just, get us to his fold. So that was it. So yeah, so slowly, we were involved. I was involved in balavikas. We used to take part in a lot of balavikas activities, Samati activities. To get, I was, into music right from my small age. Was trained in Carnatic. And Swami's grace, I was also allowed to sing bhajans in Samati, house bhajans and things like that. So that was how we came into Swami's fold, and Swami became a center figure in our hearts, in our family. And Balavikas was the biggest blessing because it helped me to get to understand Swami, those beautiful Chinnakathas with Swamis and the experiences, and a lot of human values taught at that small age. And I really feel that it was only by being a Balavika student I have got many opportunities to go physically very near to Swami and perform many programs, be it bhajans, speech, dramas at his lotus feet. As a kid, I was involved in extracurricular activities right from my school, and all gratitude to my parents who have forced me to do all those things. So I generally participate in these recitation competitions, elocution competitions, and from that's where this ability to speak was put into me. And also there used to be these sessions in our Samiti where they conduct summer camps, balavikas programs as part of Ishwarambati celebration. So we used to take part in all those activities. So that gave me enough confidence or the ability to sing, speak, or act in front of audiences. So it was one such day. I clearly remember in our Samiti, there was a district meeting that was happening. So now I and my mother, we took an auto from our house, we reached Samiti, and my mother was involved in the activities, and I was just running around here and there in the Samiti. And I knew that the district meeting is happening. There is no scene for me to go and attend that meeting because I won't understand head or tail of that. So I was just outside roaming here and there and seeing what people are doing. And once the meeting got over, I saw the district president of our Samiti and the state president. I think that the state president had come to attend that meeting. So both of them were standing outside the Samiti and they were discussing. And I was walking towards them. So that's when the state president uncle, he just called me. So I promptly went towards him and he asked me, what's your name? I told, uncle, my name is Vishal, Sairam. Then he asked me, do you know how to speak? Very confidently, yes, uncle, I know how to speak. Then he asked me, okay. So he asked me, can you speak in front of Swami for Vishu? And the way he asked me, he pointed his finger towards the Samiti. And I was in the assumption that he's asking me whether I can speak in any occasion in the Samiti in front of the people. So I told, yes, uncle, I can speak. There is no issues for that. No, I can speak. So he was amazed seeing my confidence in telling him that, yeah, I can speak. But I was in the assumption that, he's asking me to speak for some occasion in the Samiti. So I told, yes, uncle, I can speak. Then I went. Then when both of them were shocked to see that immediate confident reaction from my side. So I think they spoke to my mother, and later I came to know from my mother that no, it was not for Samiti, it was right in Kulwant Hall next to Swami, facing close to 50 to 60,000 people on a Vishu celebration day, that I had to offer the speech at Swami's Lotus Feet. When I heard that, I was really shell shocked, because speaking in front of 20, 30 classmates, or people whom is completely different from standing next to Swami on a stage facing close to 50,000 people in Kulwant Hall and speaking in front of them. It's huge. So that was the scenario. So as a preparation, there were multiple versions of the speech that was written, edited, corrected. Extensive practice sessions used to happen, so that I'm prepped very well for that D-Day. So on that D-Day, when we were in Puttaparthi, I was seated on the portico. We were all waiting for Swami to come. So Swami came in his beautiful, magnificent way. He came that day, and he was sitting on the portico on the left side. So I was sitting on the right-hand side where the state president was also seated, and my legs were trembling very, very badly. And the thing is that I have never felt the same before. So I could see my legs shivering, and also I could see the heat coming out of my body. It's a kind of feeling that, you're literally scared and the heat is just coming out. The good thing, or I don't know whether to say a good thing or a bad thing, the cooler for Swami was kept near my side, and it was facing Swami, and I was getting some of the cool breeze from it. But that didn't help me, because the heat that was generated from my body was much more than that cool breeze over there. So I was literally scared, and my hands were sweating. I had a rose that had to be given to Swami. I could see that the rose was slipping from my hand. So it was that bad. But nevertheless, I just closed my eyes, and I was just telling Swami, 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 and I was just thinking of Swami. So when my chance came to offer the speech, I went near Swami. I offered the rose to Swami. So Swami asked me, "What's your name?" And Swami asked me in Tamil and Malayalam mix, "Perenna." So I told Swami, "Vishal Swami." Then he asked me, "From where are you?" So I told Swami, "I'm from Trishul, Swami." And yeah, this was the photo on that occasion. And then after I told Swami Trishul, then I don't know what prompted me to tell this sentence. I'm sure that it's the blessing of my parents, all my balavikas gurus. I told Swami, I'm just an instrument, Swami. It is you who's going to speak through me. I don't know from where that sentence came. And I just told this to Swami. Swami smiled at me, and he just patted me like this. And after that, it was a miracle, brothers and sisters, because to be very frank, I never had that confidence to speak in that particular moment, facing a lot of people. And what I could remember was just I went in front of the mic, I closed my eyes, chanted Tomeva Matacha, and the speech it just went on. It's just Swami who spoke through me on that day. So that was my first interaction, physical interaction, that was very close to Swami. So that was my first interaction that I had with him. A great experience that I can never forget in my life. With these opportunities, myself and Brother Ashwini was also joined here in this session. We had got many opportunities to sing bhajans in front of Swami. Again, being Balavikas children, as part of Vishu and Onam programs from Kerala, they take all the Balavikas children and perform a program in front of Swami. So on one such occasion was a bhajan session that we had. And for that particular session, we had prepared close to 30 bhajans, both, gents and ladies. That's the girls and boys together. We had a list of 30 bhajans. And Swami's grace, I got the opportunity to sit right in the front of the group where, the mics were placed. So I clearly remember when Swami came while moving into the portico, Swami was right in front of us, and he was inquiring about our names, where are we from? And Swami moved towards the portico, and he asked us to begin the bhajan session. It was a beautiful experience to sing bhajans right in front of Swami, and to get that opportunity is just purely Swami's grace. And he enjoyed the bhajan sessions. And after that, when we finished our list, we literally exhausted the complete list of 30 bhajans. And after that, Swami just asked us to continue. And being kids, we were like literally shocked and like we were spellbound as to like we didn't know what to continue next, because we had a list, we finished that list. And after that, we were just looking around each other, saying what to do, what to do, what to do. And Swami was just enjoying and smiling from there. And that's when to our rescue came the Prashanti Mandir Bhajan group. So they started the bhajans there. And in that way, Swami was so happy and Swami blessed us. So that was the second interaction that we had, to sing and be there right in front of Swami's presence. For me, brothers and sisters, especially, one thing that always stood out whenever I think about Swami is the Krishna aspect of Swami, that mischievous aspect of Swami. And why I say it mischievous, because whenever I hear these experiences, be it from my teachers, my mentors, always I just get baffled by the fact that we know Swami as an avatar has come down for restoration of dharma, resurrection of all the Vedas, but with all these great plans, Swami has come down for each and every one of us as well, to establish that unique connect with each of us. And the way with which he connects with all of us is, it's different. It's a case by case, it's different for each and everyone. So for me, a factor to which I got hooked very closely to Swami was this mischievous aspect of Swami. And I would just love to narrate few incidents, that I have heard personally from my teachers in Padpi, in Brindavan, and I would like to continue in that aspect. So before I tell these experiences, I just wanted to also narrate this small experience. So just sidetracking a bit. So this is an experience of our warden in Brindavan, Professor Ravi Kumar sir. So a long time back, before he joined Swami's college, he had come to Brindavan to visit, to see Swami, to have darshan of Swami. So when Swami saw him in the darshan line, Swami asked him to come inside the interview room. So Ravi Kumar sir went inside the interview room and Swami asked him, "Hey Ravi, how come you are here?" And sir said, "Swami, it's a holiday for me, Swami, and I have come to take your darshan." Then Swami asked, "Why you want my darshan?" Then sir says, "Swami, I want your darshan because it gives me bliss, Swami." Then sir asks him, "It gives you bliss or it gives you happiness?" Then sir says, "Swami, it gives me bliss and not happiness." Then Swami asks him, "What is the difference? Any difference?" Then this answer was prompted. Definitely, sir says that this answer was prompted by Swami himself. So to give a reply to Swami's question, he said, "Swami, imagine, Swami, if I'm so hungry today and if someone comes and give me a cup of gulab jamuns, I feel so happy because I'm hungry and I get a beautiful sweet to relish and eat. But Swami, after 10 years, if I'm hungry and if someone comes and tells me, 'Hey Ravi, remember 10 years back you were hungry and you had this beautiful gulab jamun to eat.' So at that point of time, after 10 years, I won't feel the happiness, but instead I feel extremely miserable because I don't have that thing to enjoy and just satiate my hunger. That is happiness, Swami. But when it comes to bliss, Swami, today I am having your darshan, sparshan, and sambhashan. But 10 years from now, if I don't get this, but at that point of time, when I just close my eyes and think of these experiences that I had 10 years before, that gives me the same amount of bliss that I had on that day. That's why, Swami, that is bliss. This is bliss and that is happiness. Bliss is nothing but a permanent happiness and not a temporary happiness." So just adding on top of to this experience, what I feel another aspect is that not necessarily we have to be a first-hand witness of the experience. Instead, the beautiful thing about Swami's experience and Leelas are, by just hearing these experiences and closing our eyes and just thinking about those experiences, we can transport ourselves into that place, where another person had that experience, and just feel the love of Swami in their shoes. That's the beauty of Swami's experience, a wonderful aspect of his Leela. So, so just sidetrack to just tell a brief about this small thing and continuing to the humor part of Swami, the mischievous part of Swami. So this incident happened in the hostel. So one evening, Swami was supposed to visit the hostel, and in that visit, Swami was planning to visit all the departments that were there in the hostel. So generally, for those who not aware, in our hostel in Parthi or be it Brindavan, we have multiple departments where we have something like a cooperative store, which takes care of all the essential needs for the students. Like, we have soaps, brushes, toothpaste, chocolates, biscuits, clothes, and things like that to take care of the daily needs of students. So that used to be a department. We also used to have something like a dietary department where we cook food for all the sick patients in the hostel. We used to have dispensary, multimedia, which takes care of all the audiovisual sites of the hostel, dining hall. And there are multiple departments where all the students were separately allocated to each of these departments, and they used to run this department as their own. So that used to be the case in our hostel. So that day, Swami was to visit each and every department, bless all the boys in those departments. And the stores, I don't know. On that day, Swami told that I'll visit the store at the end, but let me go and visit all the other departments. So Swami started moving around, visiting the dispensary, the multimedia, all the other departments. And the stores department had a lot of people who were working for that, because it's quite a huge amount of task required to be there in that department, take care of the activities over there. So close to a lot of people were there working in the department. And they were literally shocked and also worried, because Swami was taking a lot of time to go and visit all these departments. And they were worried because if Swami decides that it's already time and Swami wants to leave, they will miss the chance of Swami coming into the stores and blessing them. That unique moment which they get with Swami. So they were in that, and they were praying constantly, telling Swami, please visit stores, Swami, please visit stores. So Swami very nicely, Swami visited all the departments, and Swami was coming near the stores, and that's when all the boys inside the stores were shouting, Swami, please visit stores, Swami, Swami, please visit stores. So Swami told, okay, let me come in, and Swami went inside the stores. So all the students were happy. Swami went inside the stores. He was seeing all the items that were displayed there. He was taking the soaps, the brushes, the chocolates, and he was having small chit chats with the boys over there. A beautiful moment for those students to enjoy and relish that intimacy with the Lord over there. And Swami was having a wonderful time. And after some time of the chat with the students, Swami said, okay, come, I want you. Please take Namaskar. So all the boys, they were ready, because that's the beautiful moment where they can get that privilege of taking Swami's Namaskar and that close door. So all the boys, they came towards Swami. They one by one, they started taking Namaskar. So the first boy went, he took his Namaskar. The second boy came. And by then, all the other brothers, they formed a line. That's the general thing in our hostel. A line is a unique factor that you see in any Swami's hostel, be it Brindavan or Parthi. You see lines of whites displayed there. That's a unique thing. So all the brothers, they formed a line over there. One by one, they were coming and taking. And while they were forming these lines, these brothers, passed down the message to every brother, telling that, please ensure you go take Namaskar and quickly come back, because we should ensure all the other brothers get this opportunity, because we don't know, when Swami will just say enough and Swami will move. So everyone were asked to come and take Namaskar at a fast pace. So this happened, and so there was our brother, this one brother who went and came near Swami. He knelt down and he just went near Swami's feet and took Namaskar. So yeah, so 1-2 seconds over, this brother was at Swami's lotus feet. 5 seconds over, 10 seconds over, 15, 20, 25 seconds over, there was no movement. So this brother was lost at Swami's feet. And Swami was very cool, because Swami was speaking to few elders next to him, and Swami was lost in that talk. But this brother was right at Swami's feet and completely lost in bliss, Ananda at his lotus feet. But the problem was that there was a chatter that began at the back of the lines. People were telling, we told this brother not to take so much time. Why is he taking this much amount of time? And this was there going behind. So close to 1.5-2 minutes over, our brother is still lost at Swami's lotus feet. He hasn't gotten up. And after some time, he gets up and he's fully teary-eyed. Just imagine he had this beautiful chance to be at Swami's lotus feet for such a long time, and how blissful he would have felt. What is the level of Ananda that he would have got to just get lost in Swami's feet for close to that much amount of time. And he was fully teary-eyed. But graciously, Swami allowed all the rest of the boys to come and take Namaskar as well. So temporarily, the anger or the frustration level in other brothers were reduced by that much amount. And once Swami finished the Pada Namaskars and Swami went out of the stores, that was the moment all the brothers bounced back on this brother and was telling, what was wrong with you? We told everyone that, don't take so much time. We could have missed our beautiful chance of getting Swami's Pada Namaskar. How could you do that? And this brother was telling, wait, brother, do you know what happened? And these were like, obviously, we knew what happened. We just saw you were just lost in Swami's feet and we could have missed our chance. And then this brother said, brothers, you know what's the reason why I'm crying? Swami, at that point of time, when he knelt down and kept his face under Swami's robe and on his near Swami's feet, Swami with his big toe and the second toe caught this brother's nose. And Swami was just with his feet holding this brother right there, pinning him down and not allowing him to get up. And that's why he was just stuck there, not able to get up. And the rest of the people around, they were just thinking that this brother is lost in Ananda at Swami's lotus feet. But the ultimate reality was he was just pinned down by Swami over there. And the beauty was that no one could make out because his head was covered by Swami's robe. So that's why no one could make this out. And no, this is how Swami plays that mischievous role, to just show that glimpse of the avatar to all his students. So I just wanted to share this beautiful experience of Swami. Now, speaking about humor or the mischievous aspect of Swami, which personally I'm very fond of, I get reminded of this Chinnakatha, which Swami in many times have spoken about in his discourses. So Swami says in one discourse, there was a sannyasi who was an idler who went into a village. And Swami called him a somberi sannyasi. Somberi sannyasi means a lazy sannyasi. So he was, on that day, he was very hungry. So he found a house in the village where it was Sri Vaishnava's house. And how he made it up? Because there were 3 namas put in front of that house and there were vibhuti marks all over. So he understood that, okay, this is a devoted person's house. So what he thought that if he enters there, he will get quick food and they won't deceive him. So no stress, no tension, nothing. So he immediately went inside that house. So he expected good food to be given quickly. So he shouted there at the doorstep telling, Bhavati Bhiksham Dehi, Bhavati Bhiksham Dehi. So from inside, a very devoted housewife, she came out. And once she saw the sannyasi over there, she thought, this is a great opportunity, a good sannyasi, and he has come down to her house. So she went quickly near him and told, Swami, I will certainly serve you food. But what is the point in giving just mere food in your hand? If you can, please, can you go to the Kaveri river nearby, have a bath and come back? I'll serve you food in a banana leaf. I'll keep everything ready over there. But this Somberi sannyasi, being so Somberi, he said, Govindeti sada snanam. Utterance of the word Govinda is as good as having bath. So I am ready and let me have my food. So this lady, she understood. Oh, this looked like a Somberi sannyasi. So she was also up to him. She was very clever. So she said, Rama Namamritam Sadha Bhojanam. Chanting Rama's name is as good as having food. So you have had your food, you can go now. And this is the Chinnakatha which Swami narrated in a discourse. And Swami says, never use spirituality as a convenient philosophy. In hostel also, we have this phrase called convenient philosophy. Whenever we are stuck with something, we get in philosophy over there at our convenience and we say, help over hurt no, love also, so that's okay. We use it at our convenience. So no, that's what Swami says, never use spirituality as a convenient philosophy, and because it will come back to us as reactions. So that's another humorous part of Swami, a Chinnakatha, which I just got reminded. In this thread, another episode that I recollect, another very, very funny incident. So this was narrated to us basically by a Bhajan group senior. So this happened during a Navaratri celebration time in Patti. So we all know Dashara is a big festival that is celebrated in Puttaparthi. And we have this program called as as Prashanti Vidwan Mahasabha in Kulwant Hall, right? So as part of this program, there are speakers who speak on a daily basis. So generally, there are 3 talks that happens, one by an elder, one by a teacher of a university, and then one by a student. And after all these sessions are done, then Swami will give his discourse. So that used to be the format of the Prashanti Vidwan Mahasabha evening program. So generally, the people or the students who speak on that particular day used to be the cream of the best speakers in the institute, right? All those people who have won awards for elocution competitions and things like that, they used to be the candidates to get an opportunity to speak in that August gathering. So on one day, there was this brother who was selected for the first day program, and he was a first year student. So first time he's getting this opportunity to speak in Kulwant Hall, and the warden takes his photograph, goes to Swami and tells him, Swami, this is the boy who's going to speak today. And Swami said, okay. And then this brother, first time he's speaking, and the best part is first time he's going to be very close to Swami after joining Swami's Institute. So that's a great thing for him. But the problem was, this brother was very nervous. So while preparing the speech or while getting ready, at that point itself, he was very nervous about how it's going to span out and things like that. And on that day, when he went onto the portico and when Swami came near him, Swami asked him, "Ha boy, kidhar se hain?" And this brother, he's good at dramatics and he's a really solid personality, very emotional, because if you're very emotional, you generally be good at dramatics. So at that point of time, when Swami asked him, "Ha boy, kidhar se hain?" this brother completely got tensed and melted, and he says, "Wow, Swami, Swami." He literally he was speechless. He was telling me that. And Swami said, okay, good. And Swami just blessed him, and Swami came to the other side. So he could barely speak because he was completely tensed and very nervous. Then the program started. The person who introduces these speakers came in, and they announced his name. So that's when our brother goes to the podium. He keeps his hands on the podium and he says, "Offering my loving pranams at the lotus feet of my beloved Mother Sai, respected elders, brothers and sisters, a loving saram to one and all present here. When the heart is full, words are few. Jai Sai Ram." When everyone heard Jai Sai Ram, Swami just turned back and said, "What's wrong? Why did he say Jai Sai Ram and finish the talk?" And everyone around here was shocked because generally, as a joke, we tell this in our hostel and things like that. When someone comes to the podium in Kulwant Hall and for a session like Prashanti Vidwan Mahasabha, this brother comes here and says, "When the heart is full, words are few, Jai Sai Ram." That's all. The speech is over within a minute. And Swami was literally upset with what happened. So, after the program, after Swami's discourse, Swami reprimanded the warden, and he told the warden, and warden told Swami, "We are very sorry, Swami. Tomorrow we'll ensure there is a good speaker and nothing wrong will happen." So the next day, a third year student was selected, a final year student. So this brother was really good at speaking, and he had got multiple chances in front of Swami. Swami used to speak to him a lot. So this brother was ready with a speech. So on that day, second day, again, this brother goes into the normal format of the introduction happens, and this brother goes to the podium. He starts in his usual way, and the speech was going really good. And in between, he said, "I am reminded of a story." Literally like this, there was a gap. Because he got reminded of a story, and he couldn't remember anything after that. It was a complete blank. He forgot his entire speech there. He just went fully blank. And after a minute, he again said, "I am reminded of a story." Silence. And this time, Swami was looking at that brother, and everyone in Kulwant Hall, the students were completely, they were just stuck and nervous, saying, "What's going to happen now? This is the second chance where, students are muffing in front of Swami." So again, after that session, because that brother abruptly ended his speech, and after the session, Swami calls the warden and tells him that, enough is enough. From tomorrow onwards, there is no student speeches that's going to happen. It'll be just the elders and teachers who are going to speak. Unfortunately, what the other brothers who were there in the line to speak for the coming days, they felt very bad, because this used to be a beautiful opportunity for them to go and speak in front of Swami. and they are missing that wonderful chance. So the next day and the day after, there were no student speeches, and warden every day used to go and plead, Swami, please, students will do it correctly. Please give them a chance. Please give them a chance. And Swami will say no. And after a couple of days, when the warden went and asked Swami, he finally accepted and said, okay, one student can speak tomorrow. So just imagine the entire weight of the institute, the face of institute was on the shoulders of this brother who's going to speak the next day. So everyone, right from vice chancellor to the director to all the teachers, heard this brother speaking multiple times. And our brother who's going to speak the next day had mugged the speech, literally mugged the speech completely from top to bottom. So he was like literally ready for the next day. And if you would have waken him the night and asked him to speak, he would have literally, just vomited the entire speech without any issues. So that was preparation that went through. So the next day, when he went into the podium to give the speech, he gave a very flawless performance. But what saved the face of the institute or the student community was not his speech, but the speech that followed him. So after his speech was a speech by a very senior elder, a member, a very respected person. But unfortunately, he had made absolute bloopers in his speech that day. And that saved the face of the institute. So just giving few glimpses of these bloopers what this elderly person had made on that day. So since it was Navaratri, right? He wanted to speak these lines. So he said, on this auspicious occasion, here we are, sitting next to Sai Mahishasura. That's all. He told that, and he wanted to say Sai Mahishasura Mardini. Mahishasura is a demon killed by Devi, hence the name Mahishasura Mardini. And he stopped telling Sai Mahishasura. And after that, he started coughing. Swami literally saw him. And then Swami told the person next to him, telling, give him water. So the water was given to me. He drank the water and he cleared his throat. And he said, Mardini. The giggles started, right? Because students can't just miss these events that happen in front of them. So they started giggling. Obviously, they can't laugh in front of Swami, but they started giggling. And this was the first blooper he made. The next one, he said, since it was the Dashara time, in a few days' time, Swami will do the Prokshanam. So generally, we all know that as part of Dashara on the final day, Purnavati day, Swami gives Prokshanam. The sacred water is sprinkled by Swami across everyone. So that's an event that happens, a beautiful sight to watch as well. So he said, in a few days' time, Swami will do the Prokshanam. And after Purnahuti, Swami will take the sacred water and sprinkle on everyone. He was referring to that. But he was giving a parallel. So he said, seeing that divine thing happening, he says, I get reminded of the Varaha avatar, the boar avatar of Lord Vishnu. After his fight with Hiranyaksha, when he just comes out of the sea, he shoots his body and the water from his body sprinkles on the three worlds and the worlds get blessed and auspiciousness just comes over there. And hearing this, I remember this brother was narrating this experience to me. He was telling, Anil Kumar sir was sitting behind, he was saying, I'm telling you that what comparison he's making. So this was the second blooper that happened. And just there's one just last blooper, that this elderly person made. So, he said this line, seeing so many devotees flocking to Bhagawan, it's like houseflies hovering around a meat piece. From where does this connection comes? Where is Swami compared to a meat piece and devotees compared to houseflies? And that's it. Swami lost it. After the discourse, Swami went and told, from tomorrow onwards, no elder speaking. Let two students speak from that day. And the students are so happy because they got the chance of their lifetime. 2 boys per day, beautiful. So no, this is what Mother Saraswati can do. We can get onto the tongue of people and say things and create a joking atmosphere so that the students get a chance to just be close to Swami and get those opportunities. So just speaking about these experiences, I'm reminded of a beautiful song, and I would love to offer this song at Swami's lotus feet. प्यारे साईं हमारे, दिल खोल देखो ये मेरा, इसमें न कोई दूजा, बस एक तेरा बसेरा। साईं प्यारे हमारे, दिल खोल देखो ये मेरा, इसमें न कोई दूजा, बस एक तेरा बसेरा। प्यारे साईं हमारे, तुम पास जब भी आते, जरा सा जब मुस्कुराते, अपनी प्यारी प्यारी नजर से साई रोते दिलों को हंसाते, प्यार भरी नजरों से रोते दिलों को हंसाते, प्यार भरी नजरों से रोते दिलों को हंसाते, मेरे साथ दिल में उमंग और खुशी भर लाते, प्यारे साई हमारे, दिल खोल देखो ये मेरा, इसमें न कोई दूजा, बस एक तेरा बसेरा। Beautiful offering at Swami's Lotus feet. So these were few experiences, just wanted to share. And just moving forward, speaking about Swami, some other experiences that stayed very close to me and that taught me great lessons were the experience that Swami had given me and made me understand the power of Namasmarana. So just brief about these experiences. So I'm just going back to 2008. So where, we get this. So I had this thought in my mind, because as part of Balavikas group, we used to go to Puttaparthi to get and see these beautiful opportunities, Balavika students get and put in front of Swami. So in 2006, I guess there was this Joy Festival conducted in Puttaparthi. So at that point of time, I and my mother, we went to Puttaparthi to attend that session. And I was not part of any of the programs, but I was just sitting on the devotees block and I was witnessing the whole program from there. And at that point of time, when I saw these beautiful programs happening, I had this thought in my mind, Swami, how good it would be if I would have got the opportunity, to perform a drama like this in front of Swami. Such a beautiful opportunity that many get. I know, I wish I could have got this opportunity. It was just a passing thought and I just forgot about that after. So now in 2008, we get this unexpected call and there was a request for me to act in a youth drama. So youth drama generally happens where typically all the youth take part in the drama, youth program. So all the youth take part in the drama and I was a kid at that point of time. I was in my 8th standard. So I had literally no chance of being a part of the drama because I was not youth at that point of time. So, but this role was supposed to be a role of Bhadrachala Ramdas and showcasing his younger days at that point of time. So this request was put and I was very happy to have got this opportunity. So we told yes, yes to the coordinators there and we went and we recorded all these dialogues and this particular program was approved by Swami. So I remember on the day when we were supposed to put this was part of a Vishu program. So we went there, we went into Puttaparthi on that day, and we were seated there. So on that day morning, what had happened was Swami did not come for morning darshan. So I think on that day morning was a youth devotional program by the singers, the state group singers, and Swami couldn't come and their program got cancelled. So what had happened was that after that, there was a thing going around saying that possibly Swami will not come for the evening program and we would miss our drama session. And we were really pained to hear that, because such a beautiful opportunity, we wanted to be near Swami, to enjoy that session and get that physical proximity of Swami. So I remember it was the makeup time. We were there next to Yajur Mandir. There was a room allocated for us where we were seated inside and we were getting the makeup done. And that's when we came to know that possibly Swami could not come that evening. So we were just seated there. And when we heard that, we were all very heartbroken. So one of the elders came and told, no, please chant and pray to Swami sincerely. Swami will definitely hear you. So we were there. We started chanting Sai Gayatri from that minute onwards till the whole makeup was finished, and till we went into Mandir, we were continuously chanting Sai Gayatri, Sai Straive, that was continuous chanting. And the room being so small that we could literally feel the vibration, because close to 20 boys were there seated, and we were continuously chanting these mantras. So I could literally feel that vibration there, while chanting Swami's sloka, Swami's mantra there. So after the makeup was over, we came to the Kulwant Hall and we were just seated there waiting for Swami. We never knew that the Swami would come up. Please excuse me. So we were literally seated there waiting for Swami's darshan. And Swami, being Swami, he listened to our prayers, and Swami came that day. And when Swami came towards us, he was so happy, to see all of us seated with our costumes. Sorry, I forgot to narrate another incident that happened the previous day. So the previous day, we were all seated in the devotees block as students, as balavikas students, youth students who were there as part of the drama. So Swami came near us, and I had the opportunity to sit right in the front row. Swami came towards me and asked me, what's the program? So a beautiful opportunity. I knelt and went near Swami, and I told Swami, I told Swami, program is drama, Swami. Then Swami asked me, what drama? Then I told Swami, it's a drama on Bhadrachala Ramdas. Then Swami told, okay, good. Then Swami went. Swami was in his wheelchair, so Swami went. Swami went into the portico, and that day there was a discourse of Swami. So Swami narrated this. Swami went ahead with his discourse, and after the discourse, at the end, Swami said, so today, we'll have a beautiful drama by the Kerala youth, and it's a drama on Bhadrachala Ramdas. Let us all watch it. And when Swami said that, I was literally taken aback, because I was the one who told Swami, there is a drama, and the drama is Bhadrachala Ramdas, but the drama is to happen the next day and not that day. So, literally, I was shocked, because what did I tell Swami? And I could hear people behind me telling that if Swami is telling, let's go in whites and perform the drama, no makeup, nothing, it's okay. So they were all just startled by this. And then the state president, he goes to Swami and tells Swami, the drama is tomorrow and I'm not today. And then Swami says, oh, okay, no problem. So he announces the drama is tomorrow, let's watch the drama tomorrow. So the next day, the drama was put up. And I don't know, brother, how to experience or how to express this. It was such a beautiful, divine moment. Just speaking about that, I feel I just get lost, because I don't have words to express that moment with Swami. It was so beautiful that, just to see Swami enjoying the drama. And after the drama, the best aspect for that, Swami, generally Swami comes down to take photographs with us. On that day, Swami, instead of coming in his wheelchair, he just got up from his chair with the assistance of the brothers next to him. He walked towards us, and everyone around were crying to see Swami walking and coming. And generally, he comes on the wheelchair. But I was not crying. When I saw the other brothers crying, I was wondering what's happening. Then I started acting as if I was crying. Then Swami saw me. Swami called me and just talked to me like this. I told him, he understood that I was acting. I was not literally crying. And then after that, Swami blessed. We got this beautiful opportunity to take photographs next to Swami. And I can't forget that opportunity, because I was next to Swami, holding Swami's hands like this, very close, and I was just close to him, taking photographs. And that was this beautiful experience that we got. And I understood the power of Namasmarana that day. To just experience and yearn for Swami through Namasmarana, and then Swami really blesses us with his presence and proximity. I am not sure if I have crossed the time, Brother Venkat.
No, you're on track, Pa. You're perfect. You're setting yourself up. So just go for it. I mean, keep going. You technically have at least half an hour to go, so we can space it out. And whatever comes to you, just go ahead. I mean, at the end of the day, these are not prepared things. There is a message that is hidden always in a talk. So just go for it. No problem.
Sure. So I'll just narrate this another incident. Speaking about Namasmarana, a very beautiful incident that happened in our life.
Let me figure out somebody's unmuted. Just give me a second. Yeah, I'm just going to go. Okay, hold on. This. Right, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So this experience happened again before I joined Swami's Institute again. Giving me the faith of power of Swami's name, the importance of Namasmarana. So this experience, this incident happened with my brother, with my younger brother. So it was a festive time in Kerala, in our district called Thrissur, where we used to have this event called as Thrissur Puram. So in this event, generally what happens is there used to be a big cracker show arranged, beautiful displays with a lot of elephants, on the temple premises. A lot of temple works used to happen, and it used to be a sight to watch because people across everywhere come down to Thrissur to witness this event. So me, my brother, and my father, we went on the previous night to go and witness the cracker show, and we were very happy. We enjoyed that full session, and after that we were back home. It was quite late, so we were back home, and after having food, we just retired for that night. The next day morning, so generally post this event, there are certain groups, who indulge in bad practices, and they come back after this event to go back to the town, and they drive recklessly, in that state of mind. So the next day morning when we got up, my mother cleaned the house, and she had this waste bag that had to be put in the waste collection unit that was opposite to our apartment. So the thing was that just next to our apartment is the main road, and just opposite to the main or the opposite to our apartment is that waste collection unit that is kept. So we have to literally go and put the waste box or the waste bag inside that. So my mom asked me to just go and put the waste and come back. So I thought, okay, then I took the waste bag and I went, I pressed the lift and I was waiting for the lift. Suddenly my younger brother, I think that time he was in his first standard, a very tiny boy, he runs behind me and tells that, no, brother, I'll also come with you. Anna, I'll also come with you. So I just saw my mother was standing behind. So she told, yeah, take him and just be careful. So early in the morning, the number of vehicles on the road will be very less. Generally, I thought, okay, then we just went down. So before crossing the road, I held his hand very firmly, just saw both sides, and we crossed. We crossed the road. I went near the waste collection box. I kept that waste bag into the box. And before I could turn, after keeping the bag inside the unit, before I could turn, my younger brother just left his hand. He just took his hands from my hand and he started running. For a second, I couldn't react because I saw him running on the sides of the road. So I just shouted, telling Sai, be careful. So he just ran. But suddenly what happened is he moved towards the middle of the main road. So when he came in the middle of the main road, again, just a split second, I was about to tell, be careful. But unfortunately, what had happened is on that day, as I told you, generally, people just drive recklessly, and it's a very early in the morning, a clean road, so they come in very great speed. So he just went, and I just closed my eyes and opened again. By that time, a big Jeep, I guess, yeah, a very big car. It just came at a speed of 80 to 100 kilometers per hour. By the time I could react, I could just say Sai, I could just shout Sai. And the next sight that I watched is my brother's slippers under the tires of the car. So I was on this side. I just saw the backside of the car and I saw the slippers under the tire. I couldn't tell anything at that point of time. I literally was petrified, shocked to see that sight, to see my brother's slipper under the tires of the car, and a huge sound was there because something happened, and this is what I see, and I just shout Sai, 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 but the thing is that at that point of time, my father, who was there right at the fourth floor, he was seeing the whole incident happening right from the window there. He was seeing this from there, and when he saw this happen, he also just shouted, "Oh Lord, take care!" So he also shouted. So by the time I could just get into senses and come near the car, I think the members of that car, they just came out, took my brother, put inside the car, and they just went to the hospital. So by the time I came and saw, the only glimpse I got was just to see the eyes of my brother, and by then the doors were, they just closed the doors and the car was moved towards the hospital. I was just petrified. I didn't know what to do. I was just crying and calling Swami, Swami, Swami. And then by that time, my father came down. My mother was also crying. All of them came down. I think we just asked someone on the road to just give us a lift, and we also followed that car to the hospital. By the time we reached the hospital, we were searching. Like, we didn't know, there were 3 or 4 hospitals there, and we didn't know where exactly was he admitted to. So we just went around, and then finally we got into this hospital and we went there. And when we went inside that particular section where he was put, we were shocked. We were amazed because we just saw him seated there, happily smiling at us, and he just had just few scratches here and there. Literally, we were so happy to see that, and at the same time wondering, how did this happen? Because just imagine, brothers and sisters, the situation: a car coming at a speed of 80 to 100 kilometers per hour, and it's just it was just there. It was just there. It just collided, and here was my brother seated happily, and there was just few scratches. We were baffled. We didn't know how did this happen. So we went. The driver of the car was there, so he came to us and he was speaking. He was speaking to my mother, "Madam, we were heading back to our place after the event, after the festivities. And before starting out, we went to the temple, we prayed, and then we started." So literally, it was an empty road. So they were just speeding, and at that high speed, they could see this boy just coming to the center of the road. And this driver was sure that he cannot control the car at that point of time, at that second, at that speed. So he was sure something fatal is going to happen. And the only thing he could do was to just turn the steering so that something can happen. And he also had this in his mind that if at that speed, if he turns it, there are chances that the car can topple. So all these things in his mind, he did that. And he was himself sure to just see something happened there at that point of time. The car turned, and the car didn't hit my brother. It was just that the wind, the force of the wind, made my brother to just fall forward and got the small bruises here and there. Nothing happened to him. The car didn't touch him. He was not injured. He just fell with the force behind him. And that's when we understood the power of Swami's name, the word Sai, because at that, his name is Sai Govind. So I call him Sai. So I just shouted Sai, like, so naturally it came out from my mouth. I just shouted Sai. And it was literally Swami who saved him, and made us all realize the power that the word Sai has, and the power of Swami's divine name, and how it can save people from everyone, from every instant that happened. I think it's time, I guess.
No, go ahead.
I can tell you. Okay, sure.
I was just acknowledging that it is true. It is true. Yes. Power of Sai. Yeah.
Another beautiful incident I just want to share with you all is how Swami, tells us that he's watching us every moment, every second. So again, this experience is an experience which was narrated by a very dear sir from school, Dr. Shailesh sir. So he's also part of the Bhajan Mandir group. So he had narrated this instance, a very beautiful incident that happened to him in Kodai. So this is a Kodai experience. So as we all know, right, Kodai is a place where Swami is very close to the students, and students get this opportunity to have that intimate connection with Swami. And this incident that happened was in one such Kodai session where Sir had the opportunity to be there with Swami for almost a month with Swami. And generally what happened is every dining sessions, students used to accompany Swami. So breakfast, lunch, dinner, even the tea sessions, so students used to be there with Swami, and they all used to have food together. And Sir says, Swami generally has food like a sparrow. Just Swami just takes a minute and a half or 2 minutes to finish his food session. And so after that, the entire session, Swami just go around speaking with the students, the elders there. And that used to be Swami's schedule for all the month, all over the month. So his eating time is just 2 minutes, 3 minutes of time. By the time the students chant Brahmarpanam and end with Aham Vaishwana Bhuta, that's when Swami would have finished his food session. That's how Swami used to eat very little. So this happened during one night dinner session. So what happened was, all the students were seated there, the elders were seated, Swami was seated, the dinner was served, and Swami's a few special guests came that day to meet Swami. So this was an elderly couple, a husband and wife. They came to meet Swami, and as and when they entered, Swami teaches again the lessons of Atithi Deva Bhava. Swami gets up from the seat. Swami goes towards the couple, and Swami says, welcome, come. And Swami asks them, you should have your dinner, and Swami meets them. Swami makes them comfortably seated there, and the plates were kept for them. And the thing was that since everyone were already served with food, so what Swami told us, I will serve you. So Swami was about to serve them. So there was chapati on that day. So Swami took chapatis. There were 2 chapatis on Swami's plate. So Swami took those 2 chapatis from Swami's plate, and he went and he served one chapati to the gentleman and the other one to the elderly woman. And while he was doing that, the chapati fell down from Swami's hand. It slipped from Swami's hand, it fell down. And before anyone could react to take the chapati, Swami himself knelt down and took the chapati. And the beauty of Swami, right? Swami instructs, since it fell down, Swami took the chapati, put that on his own plate. In his plate, Swami put it in his plate. And then Swami took another beautiful fresh chapati from the chapati vessel and served to the guests. So the people around, the elders and all, they were telling Swami, why are you, that chapati had fallen down? You don't eat it, Swami, please. Swami said, keep quiet. I know what to do. So, literally always shocked seeing Swami's reaction to that. So Swami was, back to the chair, and the Brahmarpanam started. And then Swami came near these students. Swami was speaking with them. So the thing was that Shaileshwar, who was sitting there, he was sitting opposite to where Swami was seated, little far opposite to where Swami was seated, and he was seeing right in front of his eyes. Swami was coming towards him. So when Swami is facing him, essentially Swami's back is facing the chair where Swami's food is kept. So what happened? An elder over there, he just he wanted to remove this chapati which is there in Swami's plate because it had fallen down. So he instructed the cook who was standing near the kitchen. He could obviously he cannot speak because Swami is there. So he just showed signals like this, telling. So he just signaled the cook to come and just remove the chapati from Swami's plate. But the cook was there, who served Swami. He saw this. He understood that this person is asking him to remove the chapati. But unfortunately, he was not there when Swami, the chapati was slipped from Swami's hand, and Swami kept the chapati back in his place. So he didn't see all these things that happened before. He just saw that this person is asking this cook to remove the chapati. So he was puzzled as to why this gentleman is asking him to take chapati from Swami's plate and remove it. So he couldn't respond. He just kept quiet and he was standing there. But this the elder over there, he wanted to remove, because no, why Swami should eat a chapati that has fallen on. So out of that genuine, he just again, he just looked at the cook, and he just very sternly told him, come and take it in a sign language. So at this time when he told, so this brother, the cook brother, he had to oblige to that. So he went near very slowly. He was about to take the chapati from Swami's plate, and immediately Swami made a small movement. So seeing that, this cook brother, he got scared. He kept the chapati and he ran back, and he acted as if nothing happened. And and Swami didn't turn. Swami just made a small movement and he started speaking to the students again. And now what had happened? All the elders were literally, they were feeling bad, because they wanted to remove it, because they didn't want Swami to eat something that fell down. So again, these elders asked him to come and take it. But very sternly they told him. So the cook brother had no choice. He came forward and very swiftly he took the chapati and went back. And instead of taking it, keeping the chapati separately, what he did, he took the chapati and kept it in the chapati vessel itself. He opened the chapati vessel, he kept this chapati in the chapati vessel and closed it with the cloth. And these elders were so feeling very, like, they wanted this chapati to be removed and not to be kept back to the chapati vessel. But when this cook brother kept it in the vessel, Swami turned, in a unique, beautiful way. Swami turned back. Swami gently walked towards his chair. He opened the chapati vessel. He took out the chapati, and he just took the very same chapati, kept on his plate. And seeing these students and elders, Swami said, "Where are my eyes?" And he told, "It's here, and as well as it's here. I'm watching each and every one of you." It's such a beautiful lesson. I remember hearing this from Sir told this. Such a beautiful thing that we all know that Swami is watching us each and every second, and let us all live in this constant thought that Swami is there. Swami is literally watching us every minute, every second. He's there right with us, guiding and guarding us. And I would.
One last request will be on, there was a chat message which spoke about convocation drama, maybe one experience from a convocation drama, and you can wrap with that.
Sure. So convocation dramas. So the thing is that after that, I joined Swami's school in 2010. So I was part of that batch where we experienced the time being a student, being a school student. In 11th standard, we had Swami physically there with us. 12th standard, we didn't have Swami physically there. It was Swami in his eternal form. So that was the period I joined Swami school. So in 11th standard itself, when we saw the convocation dramas, right? I personally, since I had this inclination towards drama and I was very interested in dramatics, I was just waiting, when will I get this opportunity to be part of convocation dramas? Because convocation dramas are considered as the best dramas that are presented by the students at that level in front of Swami. Used to be the cream of all the dramas students. The sports meet and the convocation drama used to be the cream of dramas. So generally, I also had this thought that when will I get this opportunity to be part of convocation drama? And 11th standard, no way, because I just joined Swami school. 12th standard also. Generally, they won't take students from the school unless a role is there where they need a kid to be part of the drama. It used to be the elder brothers from the institute, the senior students, MBA pass outs, sorry, the MBA final year students or the undergraduate final year students. They used to be part of the convocation dramas. So personally, I had no chance. So in 12th standard, this is another beautiful thing. I knew I cannot be part of convocation drama, but I had this very deep desire that Swami, I need to be part of a drama, Swami, because what happened is in my 11th and 12th, though I had the ability to act, I never took part in any of the competitions, or no one in our school knew that I could act. Even I could never tell to anyone that I could act and I can act in dramas and things like that. But I was part of the Prashanti Bhajan Mandir group. I was so fortunate, Swami blessed us that from my 12th standard starting itself, we were part of the Bhajan group. So I was focusing myself, immersing and singing bhajans for Swami, but deep within, I had this desire, Swami, how nice it would be if I can get an opportunity to act in your convocation dramas. Leave apart the other dramas. My aim was to act in convocation drama directly at that level. But nevertheless, I knew that this will never happen because no chance of me getting part of it, because no one knew I could act. There is no chance for any small role where I could play. There was no chance for me. So that year in my 12th standard 2012 convocation drama, last minute before the drama was to be put up in Puttaparthi, I remember Shailesh sir called the Bhajan group students. So I myself and some other brothers from Mushi College and my batchmates, we came. We thought sir is calling us for telling us some instructions regarding bhajans. So we went and sir told, see, there is a small portion in the convocation drama where a saint will be singing songs, and we felt that few disciples under the saints will make the scene better, and the only thing they have to do is to just sing the song along with the saint, or repeat the song whenever the saint sings. When I heard that, I was like, wow, I never expected this. From where can I get this opportunity to act? Because generally, if they want people, they generally tell actors to come and act in that particular scene, because whoever can act will only go and act in dramas. But since it was a song sequence where they had to literally sing it along with the main artist, though the audio was played, they had to lip sing and sing the gamakas and things like that. So they felt that people from Bhajan group can do this activity. So that's when I got my first opportunity to be part of this convocation drama in my 12th standard. A very small scene where we were part of that, and a beautiful experience. And the beauty is that after that, when I joined Brindavan, right from my Brindavan days till I completed my PG days, Swami blessed me with every year chance in convocation drama, and also to be not only a part of the convocation drama, but also to be being a main role in the drama, also to have got the opportunity to assist the people who coordinate the drama in directing and things like that. So that's a greatest blessing that Swami has given me, and that is my thoughts regarding convocation dramas, the experience that I had.
Thank you so much. If you want to stop there, I have to say it had all the ingredients of the standard process, I would call, of the initiation through balavikas. It's always nice to hear someone who has all their footholds in balavikas starting the journey. Then, of course, the connection through music, the interest in dramatics, and above all, holding on to that beautiful incident of just calling out the name Sai and he responding. All I can think of is parallels that come to the mind when you read the Sai Satcharitra. So many times it happens, and it's just a reiteration that it continues if that conviction is there. So all I can say is thank you so very much. For one last request, 2 of your favorite bhajans. Any 2.
Sorry, brother.
If you can sing any 2 of your favorite bhajans that you would like to reminisce of what you have sung in front of Swami, any 2.
Sure.
And then I will let Brother Rakesh and team talk about the Grama Seva project. Yeah? All right? Okay.
The first, I would love to offer this song. So this is again, this is a final song in our convocation drama. Since we spoke about convocation drama, this was a final song, and this was my final year convocation drama. Yeah, I would definitely sing Nataraja Hi Tripurari. Okay, I'll sing Nataraja Hi Tripurari and then I will sing the song. Then I think it will be apt. Nataraja Hi Tripurari, Nataraja Hi Tripurari, Jaya He Shambho, Jaya He Shambho Nataraja He Tripura Nandivahana Nagabharana Nandivahana Nagabharana Halalochana Paramasiva Halalochana Paramasiva Pavana Charana Pahi Mahesha Pavana Charana Pahi Mahesha Nataraja He Tripurari. I don't know who asked me to sing this, but the experience with Nataraja He Tripurari Bhajan is that this is my first slow bhajan that I sang in front of Swami after I joined Swami's bhajan group. So generally what happens is after we join Swami's bhajan group, literally whoever joins as new singers, they just follow the bhajans for close to a month or so, and then they get the opportunity to lead bhajans. But Swami's grace, myself and my other brother, we joined in our 12th standard, and we just had the chorus just for one day. We just repeated bhajans only for one day, and from the next day onwards, we started leading bhajans. And Swami's grace, I remember it was on a Sunday, and we requested Shailesh sir if we could go to sing. We were school students, so we requested him, can we go to Mandir to sing bhajans? He told, yeah, for the morning session. So we went. And unfortunately, very less singers were there on that day. And Swami they asked us to sing a slow bhajan. So this was our first slow bhajans that we offered at Swami's Lotus Feet.
The convocation song you wanted to.
Sure. So I'm just singing a part of that song. Very beautiful. నీ మాటలకై వేచి ఉన్నాము, నీ వీక్షణకై మేము తపిస్తున్నాము. నీ మాటలకై వేచి ఉన్నాము, నీ వీక్షణకై మేము తపిస్తున్నాము. మా ఆలోచనలో, మా పలుకులలో, మా శ్వేతనలో, మా శ్వాసలో, ఆనందములో, పెనుబాధలలో, తల్లివై, తండ్రివై, సఖుడవై, దేవవై, మా హృదయములో ప్రేమ జ్యోతివై వెలుగొందుమా, హృదయవాసివై నడిపించుమా, హృదయవాసివై నడిపించుమా. रंग दी हमारी जिंदगी, तेरे दर पे जो हम है आ गई, खुशियों की गठाएं चा गई, तेरे प्यार की खली है खिल गई, खिल गई. दिलों में हमारे वही प्यार तेरा, धड़कन बन गूंजता ये जरूर है. साई माँ आस है मिली जो आ गए हो तुम, साई माँ चाहते दिलों की आरज़ू हो तुम. साई माँ थाम कर हाथ तेरा हम चले बेफिकर. साई माँ आस है मिली जो आ गए हो तुम, साई माँ चाहते दिलों की आरज़ू हो तुम. साई माँ थाम कर हाथ तेरा हम चले बेफिकर. साई माँ.
Blissful, absolutely wonderful words. depicting the mother that Swami is to all of us, the unconditional love that comes from her in every moment of our lives. And I can't thank you enough, brother, for having all the rasas in that satsang. It had the serious element, it had the hasya element, it had the contemplation element, it had the bhakti element. Blissful indeed, in its own unique way. So thank you so very much. Every one of you, let's spend a few minutes listening to Brother Rakesh and the team on the amazing work. If you remember, giving you back a quick story, that intent to help when Brother Rakesh said, I would like to build a house for that old person who had lost everything in the floods. If you can go back to that part of the story, and I think this is a continuation of that. So over to you, Brother Rakesh. Let me not do the talking, but let me do the listening. And Brother Vishal, stay blessed, continue inspiring. A lot of youngsters need such inspiration, and there's a lot for all of us to learn from you for the devotion that you have for Swami. Stay blessed, and thank you so very much for being with us today. A gratitude to Bhagawan. Sai Ram. Over to you, Brother Rakesh.
Sai Ram, I don't want to kind of really talk about facts and figures. I think stories capture the heart, and I think Swami and how Swami actually makes things happen is something we all believe in as children in magic. And I hope and wish for all of us in the world we live in that we continue to believe in this magic on a daily basis. So taking you back to August 2018 when Kerala floods happened, myself and I was based in Parthi and Bangalore, felt a call to come and serve in Kerala. So we were the first group of people to arrive at the floods. It had just receded. I just can't explain in words the bliss we felt lifting 100 kg sacks of rice and unloading and loading, huge trucks of material, and the kind of command center which alumni actually played in the Kerala floods in actually organizing and dispatching to all the various districts of Kerala. So it was one natural calamity which got everybody as one. There was no differences, and it was something very beautiful to see. Our entire organization, right from the current students to alumni to the state organization to the local people there, everybody working as one team. And that is something I actually saw this happen, and I always wish we work as one Sai family, and we don't wait for disasters to happen. We actually work a lot more proactively. So while visiting with the state president, Professor Mukundan sir, who's a state president of Kerala, we went ahead and had a visit in one of the worst hit districts. So I'm just recapping the story. And then we were having this feeling that we need to do something for the people, which is more longer term than providing immediate food and materials. Did not know where the resources will come from, but the thought and the heart was very strong. And I actually saw this old lady, and there was this I can say it's a hut or a shack or whatever. I have never seen Swami's photo in a hut which has completely been devastated by floods. And in the middle of all that fury of nature, to see Bhagawan's abhyasa, hanging on to that one small piece of body.
Rakesh, you're muted.
Yeah, am I audible now? Yeah. So I expected the people there and this old lady to be crying. That was where I was brought to my knees, or your ego takes a hurt, because we have been pampered by Swami in those days. Having a meal from Swami's hands, being in Straive Brindavan, him giving us so much of attention, and here there was somebody very simple was never probably have the access to even travel to Puttaparthi even once in their life, standing and saying and smiling to me, saying they have no worry because Swami will fix it for them. So that was, I think, that turning point or a moment of transformation where, I think sometimes we need to start playing Swami's role in where we are. I don't know how to put that kind of a result. When we have the Swami's kind of a view, what would Swami do in that situation there? And I'm coming back, way back into 2000 till today to going back and the experiences so far. And then I just told her, I don't know what will happen, but if Bhagawan is there, you will get your house. And I had no clue how that house will come. And the promise was given, and it was given by alumni, and it was a heart-to-heart kind of a connect. Came back, and then an idea came to approach Tata Trust and see what we can do. Help came from alumni, a few of alumni who probably attended these calls also. We all sat down together. We wrote a note out to Brother Venkat, who was the CEO of Tata Trust at that point, and an alumni himself, the second in line to Ratan Tata. Had with no hope, I just sent it across to him, but to everybody's surprise, got an invite to present it to Tata Trust. Found myself in Ratan Tata's office. The gentleman was not there. And, and Brother Venkat was sitting there. And what I remember seeing is Swami's photo behind. The same Abhyahasta, which was in the old lady's shack. And we have an Abhyahasta in the corporate office. And when I saw that, I just surrendered. I walked out of that office with the funding secured for around 3 crores, 2.99 crores, which was for 70 houses. And it was not even one house, it was 70 houses. And right now, as we speak, I'm just conscious of time, but, just wanted to set the whole precedence. This organization is kind of finishing some of those houses. There's some houses which are there. Fast forward to 2021 January, felt a need, and the same estate president had kind of moved on. He called me and told, get involved in some of the rural areas of Kerala and see what we can do. That call, again, I considered from Swami's, went ahead with a few of our brothers to this village side in Palakkad. It's a place called Chittoor. Surprisingly, one of the houses which was funded was actually built in the same village. So I was so happy to see a beneficiary, and where you were also part of the whole effort. And the entire village, everybody, including the communists in the village, the Hindus, Muslim, everybody says Sai Ram to you. And it is a village to be seen because it's a very poor village. And then, Kerala being a communist oriented, very highly political state, for the leadership to buy into you and trust you, that's not easy. And there is one brother of ours, his name is Brother Hari. I think he is some incarnation of Swami in some form. That's the way I see a few people in this mission here and there. They just stand for what they believe in, and they just execute without one word. They're just silent executors. They don't want any limelight also. So I think Swami connected me with the right person. We went and did a view. Again, the same situation comes up where I find another old lady. I know for some strange reasons, I have this liking towards grandmothers and old grandfathers. They remind you of, your own, right? So this old lady makes a mala for Swami in the village community hall. And then I went and saw, and I'm sure Ashwin can kind of share a photo of that before. And she doesn't even have a toilet anywhere to, and with no privacy at all. And that again triggered, and on the spot, we promised to build. We found out there are 3 toilets. That's what we picked up. So I have to also make a mention that I don't want to name people, but Singapore has been in this from day one. So the first toilet, I think one of the toilets from Singapore. So out of the first 3 toilets, we went on from 3 toilets. And today We have repaired 116 houses, 86 restrooms, 50 new toilets constructed, and 9 villages completely adopted. And I really don't know how this has happened. I'm trying to come to terms, but the ganas of Bhagawan comes, right? When you have the contractor who is a hardcore devotee, he comes in with his people, our organization steps in, alumni comes in, and then lo and behold, it's magic. So on a very fast pace, I think I've seen this kind of construction probably in places like Dubai or London or any of these places, but here in a village, a house comes up in like no time, and they've been desperately going behind the state administration, the village administration, because the roofs are leaking and it's actually raining, and Kerala has a lot of monsoons. So from January 2021, seeing this initial seed of work, where I would say Singapore has always been part of, and subsequently during the COVID time, we did quite a lot of COVID Seva medicines in the state, and again we received a lot of support from Singapore in that aspect as well. I don't want to name individuals, but definitely, I think we have been. That's why I can say that Grama Seva is not just Kerala; it is Grama Seva, and Grama Seva is like an open-ended for every alumni to take part. And Prashanti Trust actually came in and they supported. And right now we should be offering 9 villages by 23rd, by Swami's birthday. We should be offering. There's a video in works which is going to come out. 19th we are actually 19th we are actually going to go and do Narayana Seva ourselves as alumni in these villages. So it's a celebration of sorts, and Swami's name is resonating in these villages, and it's a beautiful feeling at a rural level how much love they have for Swami. So so that is the journey till date. But what we have also started doing is we have started building a Medicare hub, empowerment activities in the village, some sort of a governance structures to make sure that we don't do the work and afterwards what happens. So the engagement, once we enter the state organization, the local sammadhis will continue the engagement, and it's not that we are going to exit from that village. No, that is not the whole idea. We are not going to exit. So from the Medicare hub, we have our hospital where we are kind of revamping, the whole infrastructure in the hospitals, and that will be the Grama Seva Medicare hub, where we want to ensure this outreach of those things to these villages, especially in COVID time. There's a lot of issues in terms of mental health, malnutrition, longer term, and I can probably maybe Ashwin, you could just put up those 2 slides. We'll quickly take you through what the whole approach is, if you want to share. Yeah. So Manav Seva is Madhava Seva, as always Swami says, and Swami talks about complete adoption of the villages. As you can see, this is what I just spoke about, where we started, where we are right now, and absolutely in terms of the milestone, how many lives have been touched. I wouldn't want to talk about any numbers. This is a roadmap then which we then prepared. We can confidently say that we are way ahead of the key milestone. We thought we'll actually train the youth, because alumni is quite few in number. So we have around 400 youth skills registered to see how alumni can mentor and work with the youth in the state to get them on some kind of a tech platform and ensure Grama Seva is taken up at a local level. So hopefully we are looking at least 100 villages in terms of health and wellness and cleanliness, and to start some kind of work happening, so that is where. So the model is built on first building trust, where we go in and do some work. The second is obviously the medical camps and identifying early stage issues, also malnourishment, and create awareness of healthy habits. All these does not require any kind of, I would say, any infra kind of works. It's just your human effort, so it can be done. And the phase 3 is where we really want to ensure they're self-sufficient. There is also some kind of women empowerment, so that they can also earn, and at the same time, we want to ensure they have some access to fruit trees and medicinal saplings. So greening the entire village is the whole thing. And we also want to ensure what they produce, we are able to market it out to cities like Bangalore, Mumbai, and all these places, so that, you know, there is a social kind of an entrepreneurship model. I think the final stage, phase 4, is where we look at value-based education, because I'm sure all of us will agree that the next generation needs to be, you know, the balavikas is very important. The children are quite important. They are the, since we are all, Swami has given us some roles in the mission. I think the youth and the younger ones has the most critical. They need the care, and they need to be groomed, and they need to be fostered into the system. So that is phase 4. So we are having a plan which actually runs from now till 2024. So and then with various milestones which is there. The deck will be shared, so you can also have a look at it. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll just maybe if you can just move to the next slide to kind of really show. So, you know, this is some, you know, we just kind of took a few pictures to show you some of the, you can see that there is somebody digging a proper, you know, sanitation tank, and, you know, also providing a toilet apart from these houses which were actually reconstructed. But because we have 100+ houses, we can't show you everything. So once a video comes, we'll definitely share. So you will get a hang of the whole, how the whole thing happened. So broadly, Brother Venkat, thank you for this opportunity. And I think it is great. I just wanted to share that you have been, so this is a mother whom we met first. So this time we took a photo. So she makes a mala for, you know, mala for Swami. And her toilet was the first one we kind of took up, and they were extremely happy. So we are going back to them again on the 19th to spend Onam with them. And all these workers who are working, so we are giving them a good meal, and like how Swami used to give them clothes, we are planning to give them clothes and honor them. So Brother Venkat, you have been part of this from day one. So and it is in his hands whatever happens. And I think for us to just experience the bliss, as you rightly told, things just are happening. So thank you for this opportunity to share our progress, and handing this over back to you, Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, Rakesh, I know that there are a lot of amazing souls here who are doing similar work in different levels. All I can say is you're harnessing it in a format where what I love about this is the interaction of all the different facets of the organization, if you want to put it, alumni, not as distinct, but to work together. I mean, that's the biggest harmonization that we need, not just being devoted, but to work together. And that needs a lot of surrender of the ego, surrender of the whole act of doing it, and just leaving it to him. And that is absolutely amazing. I hope Kerala is a starting point. It doesn't stay in Kerala, it goes beyond. And this is what I think all students represent. Change is something that should not be experienced selfishly, but has to come out from beyond the experience to action. And Swami always talks about that, right? Change should not be just internal, but that has to be translated into the work that you do. There is a request for people asking how to reach. Dr. Anand is already talking about introducing a few. But let me also ask you this. If someone wants to volunteer, can I ask what are ways to volunteer? Forget about, of course, the monetary aspect of it is needed to run it, but then the act of it is also to work together and to, to physically do something. How can one step in to do this? What are your thoughts?
So I think the funds are not the thing. I think it is a transformation for anybody who volunteers. So that's the way it is. So the skills actually which is there. I think Sister Gayatri has a question, but let me just complete this. So the skills we have captured actually what they need. The youth, and then can we work with them? Maybe do a kind of a study session once in 2 weeks. Where talk about Swami, because the youth today really need to understand, and then we launched a program called Study, Sadhana and Seva, because Seva cannot work alone. Seva really requires some study and some sadhana before you actually come. I think going back to Dr. Anand's points, yes, the idea and what you told Brother Venkat, this is just a start. And then we need to replicate this across India and across other countries. And I hope that Swami gives us the opportunity to do so. So if people want from Singapore to kind of contribute with their love and devotion, definitely, we'll float a Google sheet. They can tell what areas they are interested in. Then we'll try to match it accordingly so that they are able to, work in a space they're able to contribute. Somebody likes to teach Vedam, somebody likes to talk about Swami stories. So that's where I would say, and definitely for any work to be done, funds are required. I don't say so, but what we currently do is all funds come into Karnataka Trust. So because this is an official Satsangh organization project, so we started it. So we currently, everything comes into Karnataka Trust. We have a contractor. It's a very seamless. I need to mention about the contractor. The contractor is an ardent second generation devotee, works on a no profit, no loss, gives a credit of up to 1 crore. Have you ever seen a contractor working like this? If you tell him start, he would have finished one village by the time next week you reach. And then we backfill and we are actually, kind of, so this is not us, this is him, this is Swami's hands. We are just enjoying the show. And I think also an opportunity, like you told, brother, to work as one. I think there's a huge need for us to be one. And then if we all can get together with this thought and then kind of sprout this idea, it's very magical, because then everybody puts their differences aside and they're all rolls and leaves sleep.
Yeah.
Rakesh, can I say that we started off with the Kerala initiative more because the state Sai organization gives a lot of support in getting the alumni involved and coming up with a common roadmap? Or I know we started off with the Kerala floods that's how the whole thing started, but there were questions as to why Kerala. So can we say that it is more to do with the interactions with the state organization that led to this being a trial run to be replicated in other places?
Absolutely, brother. The thing was, we were already there in 2018 with the floods. And the organization really were happy with the way the alumni just, gelled into the organization. So even today, we are trying to become one, and we keep saying we are not alumni. We are part of the state organization. This is an organization where the trustee is singly Swami. The Kerala Trust sole trustee is Bhagawan Sai Baba himself. So whatever, we also want to ensure that if the best practices which is there in the rest of the trust, like Karnataka Trust, what do they do? Can we be a bridge to ensure that the state organization also is able to? And they've clearly recognized it and they've given complete support. So the All India President is fully on board. The state presidents are on board. So we interact with them on a regular basis. So this is just a launch pad. From here we have to take it to other states. And especially places where there's some need of standardization has to happen, right? And more alumni from each of the states can come forward, and it will lead to again more unity among alumni in Seva. So that was another thought, unifying alumni across. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Brother
think
Malik
Brother
had a
Malik had a
question.
question. Yeah, Malikanna. Yeah.
Sairam, brother Rakesh, how are you?
I'm fine, brother. How are you?
Yes, yes. No, one question is because now in India, with the corporate social responsibility clause of
Right.
2% of profit to be plowed into social impact projects, I'm not saying that we should be registered as a Section 8 company or an ATG company, but it is also possible because that the alumni are spread around in so many companies, because people are not able to spend money now in India. Like even in the company that we have in India, we are not able to spend it in the second is, you showed a beautiful slide, and this is what is the impact study, that is assessment study that is happening on the social project. It is also possible that the alumni can take the form of a consulting situation, and do the impact study project in the best interest of either our own projects or to do for projects that are big in nature. And this impact study, government has made it, mandatory for projects that are more than 1 crore. And not many professional impact study people are there. And these are probably things, these are, I think avenues which will take a longer period on a self-sustainable basis, and we will have the bliss of contributing to the UN SDGs of various, either both as an individual and as part of the country. So I don't know whether this is, because this can generate a lot of money as long as people don't perceive this to religious investment and things like that. So this is a very tricky topic, but maybe the impact study as an individual alumni running this will be an amazing, because when I saw your slide, this is exactly what people are saying. Anything after 1 year, you try to do the impact study and come up with how it has added value, objectives at which you started. So great. So maybe I don't know whether you are all looking at it with that, but it is possible to look at it or not is another.
No, I think you raise a very important point, brother, because if we are doing something, we need to measure impacts, and there needs to be KPIs and performance indicators to measure. And those might be the health of the people where this investments and the attention has been given. We are doing medical camps. So how much of blood pressure has actually gone down, or how much of those diseases have been identified? If you talk about education or employment, has the employment levels actually risen because we are there right now? Rather than just telling the youth to go do seva, understand what they need first, because do they know Swami properly? That quality is something which we as alumni, I think we can give, because we have spent time, and end of the day, this is Swami's mission. So I think we are all cogs in his divine plan, and I was telling somebody that we need to play our roles in the whole thing and keep driving it forward. So to answer your question, I very excited that this kind of a project started off in Kerala. It's scaling up. Funds have never been an issue, to be frank. It is just support has just come, and but the CSR effort, because that the trust cannot go directly to the CSR. We need a Section 8 in between, which is a feeder to this. I don't know whether I can kind of have the discussion here, but
True. I agree. That's why I was not sure it can be a topic, but I think I am willing to help
please do, sir.
alumni on the assessment study, because I am undergoing Company Secretary Institute CSR Impact Assessment Study certification.
Yes.
It will complete in maybe in another 2 weeks or so. I think it's important for us. It will all happen if Swami guides us. So if anything we can be of use.
You have been part with us from day one. That's what I said, Brother Venkat. We have been, Singapore is part of this whole thing from day one. Individually also, I have been talking to Vivek, is my classmate from Brindavan days. So I have been in touch with Vivek from everything we do, so we just share notes. So definitely, I look forward to maybe we can form another group or a call, and we can just discuss on those various facets. So
Yeah,
we would be happy to get more alumni involved as well.
yeah. Also, I think Anand, Dr. Anand, you had something to say if you're still around. Anand, are you here? He's left. Anand. He's dropped the call. Okay. Yeah, he raised his hand. I was trying to get him on. Anyway, what we will do is we will also try and put together opportunities where different skill sets can come. I do know from an education point of view, there are a few independent people in Singapore who are doing a lot of work for Vidya Vaini, especially when it comes to translation work. Right? We will try and connect to that group such that if there is any need to go in there. I do know, I don't have to name Sathya now who is here. He is probably, if when it comes to Vedam, I have not seen someone as passionate who can probably go and teach people who probably need to be coaxed to be learning every week. He's already come up with a website where the entire thing is self-learnable with the focus on diction, syllables, and so on. I'm sure Satyana can support on that because he's doing it for balavikas. So he's doing it at a kid's level, right? I mean, it's going to be for everybody to learn. And you've already said something where I see synergy for him to step in, and probably you won't get someone more dedicated than him on this aspect of Vedas, especially to teach. Mallikana probably will be the best to come in whatever he spoke just now. So I see quite a lot of people who can offer subsets of help. Dr. Anand will definitely be able to guide in a few sections. So let's brainstorm separately outside the Satsangh, and let's have a separate call on that. But all I want to put it on record is when all the facets of all people who have had an influence of being who they are in their lives, thanks to the grace of coming across or being drawn to Bhagawan, should be committed to have opportunities like that old lady and the Abhyasta to be inspired to do and put into action, and not just go there and say Sai Ram, Sai Ram. That is not what this is all about. And I hope that such experiences inspire all of us to do whatever we can, wherever we are, together as Sister Sudha Babulnath says she would be happy to help. I shall reach out to all of you. Brother, is there an email or something that I can type in the chat that people can reach you out? Or maybe if you just type it out.
We will share Rakesh's number with people who have messaged here. I'm noting down, and then subsequently we could form a group and see what different skill sets could be applied to in what can be done further.
All right.
So I've got Dr. Mangla, my aunt from Bangalore. She wants to see what she can do to replicate in some of the villages that she has adopted as a community medicine doctor. So we'll get interested people, like-minded people on a call or on a group, and subsequently you can take it up from there as to where different skill sets could be used.
So with that, all I have to say is Swami is guiding us not just to listen and be inspired, but to transform through action. And there's nothing like putting our inspirations into going through a selfish process of self-gratification in the name of Seva, but thereby also bringing the Sai to each one of them through the Seva that happens. So I still am reminded of that saying from Sister who said, the purpose of Seva must originate from the heart and not be, the inspiration for Seva must originate from the love in the heart and not be circumstances and anything else. And that is where most of the COVID work, so many stalwarts of the alumni are involved in day-to-day things. And this is just another example of trying to make the Seva sustainable and also ensuring that the real beneficiaries are people who also get touched by the Sai in their lives. So thank you so very much, Brother Rakesh. and Brother earlier for the wonderful Satsangh. Brother Vishal was still there. Thank you. And praying to Swami that such wonderful gems keep coming back every week. Be part of this. You all have become part of family that not seeing some of you on the satsang sometimes makes us wonder if all is well, but it's also a very addictive process where this becomes so ingrained in our day-to-day DNA, if you put it in that sense of having the satsang every week. So thank you very much. Praying to Swami to keep everyone safe, helping people recover if they're suffering from COVID, and also looking forward to the next speaker for the week. We shall finish off with Samasta Lokas. Vivek, could you lead the Samasta Lokas, please?
Samasta loka sukhino bhavantu. 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 Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Jai Bolo Bhagwan Shri Sathya Sai Baba Ji ki Jai.
Sai Ram. Sai Ram, everyone. Stay safe. Looking forward to seeing you all same, not the same time, but the usual time, 7:30 next week. I have no idea who the speaker is. He knows, and you will get to know. Sai Ram. Stay safe.
Sai Ram. Sai Ram. Thank you, brothers.